Good morning. Welcome to our home, and welcome to Cathy's garden. 22 years ago, we got burned out from our old home site over there, and that's the piano from the baby grand piano we had in the cabin that burned. It's like our totem pole. And this behind me is our fancy deer fence that I told everybody was going to be looking like a stage. And I think I kind of pulled it off. And these are all futons and bed frames from what I got from the dumpsters, city dump, you know, going through all this stuff. Painted them all up, made the stage. Keeps the deer out too, and it recycles stuff. I worked real hard here the last 3 months putting this Cathy's garden together for her because, as a lot of you know, we darn near lost her last September. She got real sick during the fires and 12 days in intensive care. So I decided to put this place together, give her a beautiful place to recover, and try to make a movie. That's what I'm after, is to make a, and we did 2 successful shows here to where we actually shot the comic at the end of the show instead of paying him. And it was all with blanks and it was all in fun. And there'll be more of that too. But what I'd like to do here is give you a quick tour of the garden if you've never been here before. And then a quick tour of the club. And for those of you who've never been here or been through it, and see just how hard we've worked to make something happy and something positive for people. Okay? Take a walk with me. Well, welcome to the center of the garden. I created this here for Cathy so she could do all her preparations, and then everything got blown up as I always do and made things bigger. As you can see down through the years, I've been collecting bathtubs and dryer drums and whatever. They make great raised beds, and they're gopher proof, and of course all my paths are clear. But we harvest quite a lot of food here, and we're still eating food from last year. So, you gotta have fun if you're gonna work this hard. And as you can see by the retaining wall and that, I dug probably a good 1.5 foot out of here to get all this cleaned up and leveled out. Put in squash from some containers a good friend of us gave us. Put in squash. And then I was looking at it and I thought, you know, I got all these bed frames. I made Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and of course, Baby Bear. Yes, we'll let this child decide what one of 62 genders it wants to be. Politically correct garden. So, having fun with these bed frames again. Even our grandkids are like blown away by the bed frames that Grandpa found. Our own daughter used to make fun of me for collecting these things, but by goodness, I spent a month painting them all up. What you see here is from metal beds. Got the happy frog, got the tragic frog. Pretty cute, huh? Hey, a lot of us think we ought to make him a short stogie to be sticking out here because he's got that smirk on his face, doesn't he? You bet. Let's go sit in my favorite swing. Come on, walk on over here. I'll take you over here. This is where we sit. Underneath the big cedar tree I left about 35 years ago. I'm going to sit down and pan the garden for you. Of course, there's the frogs. A lot better view from here with them, huh? Looking right out that gate, that red gate, is the road I cut in. 25 years ago, 30 years ago, maybe even more. Often I sit here looking at our beautiful garden and how peaceful it is. And then one day I had a flashback of the first night I was in a bunker. Yes, I'm a Vietnam vet. Sitting in a bunker in the pitch black, scared to death. I look down that road and it's all good. Then I go back to the bunker and I like riding a roller coaster of life. It's an incredible experience. I hope for when you, I'm 66 now. Hopefully when you get old enough, you understand that roller coaster of emotions that one shouldn't be afraid of. Here we go, guys. Food, food, and more food. So here's the front patio. We had Larry Myers from Rockin' the Rivers playing right here last weekend, Friday, Saturday night. What a great job he did. This was just a little fun I was doing with the rocks and the castle wall fence and the arches here. Just playing around. It makes a great outdoor stage. And then 9 o'clock we all went into the club, and Daryl Mack, the comedian, along with Steve Burnham, our musical director, put the show on in there. So, welcome to the world's coolest fort. No girls allowed. Oh, women, yes. No girls. Got Jerusalem artichokes here going crazy. The creeping ivy taking over the whole front of the fort. And this is, it took years to get here. It's all coming together. Come on into the club and we'll show you what's up in there. So for years I told everybody I was going to put a bent log staircase in here because the one I had was just flat dangerous. So I went off into the woods with my saw and I found me the biggest bent tree I could find, and I dragged it on home, cleaned it up, got it up high, and sawed it all the way down the center with my chainsaw. And then I had these leftover 4x12 blocks from a job I did that were too short for anything, but just happened to fit the staircase. It's funny how things work out. Come on in and check this out. Jim Hagel, my best buddy, he really stood behind me on this and joined forces with me, and this is what we've created. And amongst friends and everybody that came and helped us, brought a 12-pack of beer and helped us put this together. And once it started rolling, it was like, wow, this is actually going to happen. And so we have 5 balconies up there. We seat comfortably 50, 60 people. All these logs are off our own land, hand peeled, hand harvested, dragged right up here, peeled, set in place. And then yes, it did take us some years to do this, and this is the accumulation of it all. Come on in. Nowhere else would they let you do this. The codes would be against you. Here's the famous stage. We've had so many comedians play here. Tanya Lee Davis, the midget from Last Comic Standing. We flew her in from Las Vegas. The list goes on and on of comedians. Don Parkins, Josh, Nick Tyson, just of the few. J. Wendell Walker, an old great timer. At one time, we had Pat Paulson on this land, the old guy from Smothers Brothers. But this is the stage. This is where it all happens. Got the sunken bar. Everything? Yep. Oh, this is Growler's house, and this is Growler. Creature I used to work with in children's hospitals. Now a good friend of ours, Wes, runs Growler, as you will see in the films that we're going to be putting out. He's been quite the hit. Kind of looks like me, doesn't he? In the wintertime with a full beard, I do look like him. Check her out. Put her up there, Wes. Show her up there. All these balconies. The famous Lincoln balcony. First balcony, second, third, fourth, fifth, 5 balconies all up in there. Everybody's stacked in here and just having a ball. It's an ongoing project too. It's not it's not done. We have so much more we'd like to do. We're bringing in TV monitors so we can actually show commercials just like they do on Saturday Night Live. We were going to do it last show, but we got too technical for us and we had to move on. So this is the Tower, world's smallest comedy club. And you know, you're looking at this at YouTube, and I think we're going to develop a GoFundMe to help with Cathy. It's right at probably about 80 grand, and then I'm taking care of a lot of it and trying to make a movie. But if you feel the need, we're going to have a GoFundMe. And thanks. If you got $1, $5, whatever, toss it in there. And do come see this place. And so thank you. And it's been a pleasure being rocking the rivers and everywhere else doing what I do. Rick out.